Captain America: Brave New World. This one is directed by Julius Ona and written by Rob Edwards. Of course, after Endgame, Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, has been given the mantle, the responsibility of Capitán America, and we hope to God that he can fulfill this role. Throughout the film, Captain America, it feels weird to say that, man. It does. It really does. Steve is my Captain America. The film follows an international threat and Captain America's objective of finding out the source of this threat. In the meantime, President Ross, who if you remember, was the general who was in charge basically of taking down the Hulk. He never did, but he was in charge of that. He's become president now, and he has his own set of challenges, including the international incident I have just mentioned. Alright, where do I begin? Sam Wilson, Captain America. You know, there's moments throughout this film where they're having dialogue, character to character, and Sam will say something like, I just don't know if I'm ready to be Captain America. I'll never be enough. And I'm thinking here as an audience, I'm like, are they like breaking the wall where, yeah, you're talking about Sam, but you're actually talking about Anthony Mackie too? Whether we as an audience will ever think he's good as Captain America? I was like, maybe they are. Really, I think the most consistent character and the hero for me of the film is Harrison Ford as President Ross. He's the most interesting character. You've seen the trailers. You know what happens to his character. And the aspect that makes anyone who's been gamma radiated so interesting, aka the Hulks, is the internal conflict. There's always something very strong, very deep within these characters inside Bruce Banner, for example, that makes it the most compelling. This internal conflict. President Ross's character is written to have this, and it's good. He's not only giving external pressure, but internal as well. You could tell that this is a man who's done a lot of terrible things throughout his life, but he's trying to change. And I think that conflict within himself manifests as the film progresses and keeps moving forward. There's a specific scene with him and Sam. The strongest scene in the movie is between them two. It's about 2/3 of the way through. Essentially, Ross explaining his motivations, his character. And it's a good bit of acting from both. And because of this and his other scenes, I do think President Ross is the MVP. I really liked his character in this film. Sam. You know what the writers did, man? It's not that I could never see Sam Wilson as Captain America. It's just this plot fails to ever really move forward. They fail to ever really give this new Captain America a challenge that is isolated to just him and doesn't feel world stakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop giving this man supernatural enemies. Let's ground him a little bit. He doesn't have superpowers. Let's give him something at his level, and you can still make that an enticing, great film. And what I hate is that the writers have the formula in front of them. They say this very powerful piece in this scene, great scene with a specific cameo. I'm not going to say who it is, but I enjoyed this scene. And it's Sam just being honest, where after a loss, and I'm not going to get into specifics, he speaks openly about his limitations as this hero, as someone who has to carry this great mantle. And this other person said back to him, Steve, Captain America, gave people someone to hope for, and you gave people someone to aspire to. And I was like, my wheels were turning, and I was like, wait, did they just give like good dialogue in this abyss of mediocre writing? You have it in front of you. What could make Sam Wilson's character so special is that he is strong enough, his character is strong enough to not take that super soldier serum. To be limited, yes, by his own human body, but that's what will make him special. That's what will get the people to see him as, again, someone to aspire to, someone you can follow, someone you could become, not just look at and knowing you can never reach that. Give Sam that opportunity to prove himself. Give that character that. This movie didn't do that. It gave him a supernatural, otherworldly threat that you know is for somebody else. President Ross is not notably his threat. The other villain is not notably his threat. It's somebody else's. It's Bruce Banner's. I'm frustrated. Of course, I'm a fan of the MCU of the earlier phases, but it's just you have it there in front of you. You know what could make this character great. There's already glimpses throughout the writing where they have some understanding of the limitations of the internal conflicts that are within this character, the responsibilities this character has picked up. So let him prove himself with a justifiable antagonist. This film fails for me to land on any real plot. It feels like we jump from 4 different plots, 4 different conflicts for Sam, and we just never land on one. And I'm also saying this believing that Anthony Mackie came in, he did his work. He did as good as a writing page could inspire anyone to do, I think. But you can also tell that he could do more. There's a specific scene towards the end of the film where it's the most commanding acting-wise from Anthony Mackie. And me just watching that and that little scene where he's having with his partner, his sidekick actually. Why did it wait so long for us to sympathize with him? Prior to this scene, he's very annoying. It's hard to like him. But in this scene between them two, you're watching it and you're thinking, Anthony Mackie is asking for more. He could be given more. Let's do that. Also throughout the film, there's this skinny, short lady who's beating these grown men in hand-to-hand combat, throwing them across the room, kicking them like, oh my gosh, this lady was smaller than my grandma. And yeah, I know my grandma can, she got some muscle. She shows it off in the garage sale Saturday mornings. But even she can't do that. I'm just saying. The visual effects are okay towards the end with the Red Hulk. They are decent, but never on par with what you expect from the MCU. Now in 2025, you expect a little bit better from them. Man, this movie feels unfortunate for mostly Anthony Mackie. I think out of everyone, he takes the biggest loss, and I just see it as the writer's fault and the producers. It's one of those things where you know what the MCU is capable of, and for a while, they just haven't been bringing that, Come on. Come out of retirement. Just bring him back to the good old days. Great writing, great characters, good plot, exciting action. Let's do it. Come on. Let's do it. Yeah, the movie's a strong C-. The film is rated PG-13. There is science fiction action, violence, visual effects, hand-to-hand combat, some gunshots, some shootings, but it never pushes past the PG-13 realm. The only scenes I could see as potentially frightening for any kids is the end where the Red Hulk comes in and a specific character because he's got a peculiar character design. Well, let me know what you thought about Captain America Brave New World. Please comment, please subscribe, support the channel, man. Have a great day. Bye-bye.